you're matching your car.
I'm matching
Is that the idea?
That's the only way I'd be wearing this shirt. Tomorrow, you'll never see this shirt on me again after today.
So what are we looking at here? It's infected.
Yep, the name's infected. And the badge is, I don't know what you call it, the apostrophe or the hyphen from Cuda. You know, it's got the, with
yeah.
We took that because we wanted to make the lettering larger. So we took, we'll just take that, put it at an angle, and that way we could make it larger.
So it's pink. It's like pink eye.
The car, instead of having a red eye in it, it's got a pink eye in it. So it's infected because it's got pink eye.
That is so crazy. Okay.
So this is like completely different than the other. Like this is, you know, covers and just not really, you know, but it's, these motors are hard, so we made the valve covers and covered the, these aren't square, symmetrical, so we made a front cover for it. And again, this is just aluminum.
You know, it's crazy. This motor was big already.
They're massive.
And then you made it that much bigger.
Yeah.
And also, on top of that, I feel like the Cuda engine bay is huge.
They are.
But it looks like
it's stuffed
it's
now.
shoehorned in.
Yeah.
Okay, so then what's the idea behind this build? Was this a customer car?
Yeah, this customer from Atlanta, kind of in the rapper world, and I wanted to paint a car pink. And you know, Cuda's, you know, Mopar is the only one you could get away. You couldn't paint a Camaro pink or a, you know, it would have to be a Mopar since they, and I took the original color and we took out a lot of the white. Wanted to make it as bright a pink as I could without turning it purple. So it's right on the edge. It actually outside is a fun color. It really looks cool.
Started life as
a Barracuda, just a 383 4-barrel Barracuda, but junk and basket case like most of these are. And I got a Roadster Shop chassis with a, it's got an independent, but it's like Joe Rogan's car in that it's got a transaxle in it. Mm-hmm. But in the grill, again, we use a stock grill, but we bonded it together. Normally it's pieces. This headlight bucket was made to pull out to change the headlights, but now it's a little more work, but we made it one-piece grill, welded up all the trim, or stainless. They are stainless. But we welded it up so it's one piece instead of the segments, which look kind of cheesy. Made the lower diffuser.
I love that.
It's got the original style lights, but they're LED now. You know, there's just some things you don't mess with on iconic muscle cars.
That's what makes it Cuda.
Right, that's what makes Cuda.
You got the chassis, not very good condition, and then what made you decide to put this motor in?
Well, we've actually put Hellcats in, and you know, these motors, you know, they're big and they're so good. It's almost like, why do you put an LS in a car? It's not just because they're easier, it's because they work and they run, and you know what, at the end of the day, it's not always about looks, it's gotta work. I mean, builders have to deal with when they're not running properly and they got an 8 stack and they look really bitchin', but then nobody can tune it worth a shit. And every time they drive it, it's not what people want today. They want something that's...
It needs to look like this with OEM performance, OEM plus.
Exactly. I'm not saying we're right, I'm saying that's what we do and that's how we feel, because we've been through that first time somebody wants to give you a fuel injection or give you this, and they'll give it to you to put it on a vehicle, and then you're the one trying to make it work.
Love the hinges here. This is one thing that I'm always excited to see on all of the cars that you guys build, how you update, I guess, something so simple.
Right.
It's like really complicated, really nice. So is this all CNC'd stuff?
Yeah. We actually sell that hinge, but it's a Cuda hinge that our own design as far as even how they work. And then obviously Chrysler painted theirs, so we painted ours.
What about the hood?
The hood is a one-off Gary Regal design. So after we had this in, we scanned it so that we knew how much room we needed, but we wanted to keep an AAR style hood or Mopar style hood. So it's all carbon. This hood is autoclaved, so it's super, you know, it's super stable and it's all carbon bottom.
Super lightweight.
Yeah, not as light as you think, because it's really thick carbon. You know, everybody thinks carbon's super light. Well, it is if you're building a race car and you want it super. But if you want something to be, a good grade, I doubt if it's honestly any lighter than a metal car as far as just metal without Bondo on, right? I mean, it's
like if it was aluminum hood versus
it'd be
a carbon.
comparable.
Part of it is because you're having air go through it. It looks like it's functional.
It is,
right?
yep.
And then at speed, you don't want it to wobble or
exactly.
anything.
So we wanted it stronger. Plus, it's got aluminum inside it where our points are. Thick beams so they don't bend. Like, you ever seen one of them AAR hoods that bend?
I love how finished it is underneath it too. So clean. All of this stuff.
Yeah, a lot of these times, guys will know that build these cars. It's like a Mustang. They wrap over and they bend, and this is really just sheet metal. As you do your body work, you get it nice, you take it to paint, you put it back on, and it doesn't retain the same shape. A lot of it starts right here. So we actually started with 1/8" steel and machined the design in it, but then we welded it to the sheet metal to give it strength when it goes to be bolted on.
So, is this really tubbed?
Yeah, goes in. That's aluminum tubs we made.
And then stock body width.
This one is, but we moved the wheelbase ahead 1.5 inches on this car.
Is this static on coil?
Yeah, this is ride height right here. This is drivable right here.
Amazing. Like, you can't see
That's
so much of the wheel.
I know, but this is what it's tough. Renderings always look mean because they have the tire way out, which I prefer, but you can't if you're going to drive it this low. It's got to be in that far, and that to me I'm not a fan of the look, but it's like there's nothing you can do.
I love it. I think it looks incredible. The rear, incredible also.
21s. I mean, if you get behind it and see the tire, it's a massive tire.
How wide is it?
13.
No, it's a 335.
335, yeah 30, 21. So
love the HRE wheels. Love this design.
Yeah, I do too. It just kind of fit the old throwback torque thrust.
But
for
it's
the car.
updated.
Yeah, but it's updated.
Love your little logo here.
Yep.
That little
original style stripe, hockey stripe. Took the original AAR style deck lid, but they're really cheap, cheesy. Even from factory, they just didn't fit right. So, they were kind of rounded, and these cars are edgy, so shaped them, added wider. Originally they have 3 on them on the AARs. Got rid of the middle one. Lined these up more with the bumperettes.
It looks so good from behind. For me, the rear of the Cuda is where it's at.
Yeah,
from a photographer's eye, I just love this shape so much.
Yeah,
it's timeless.
I think the shape.
Exhaust.
Yeah, we made all the tips. It's got all Borla in it, but this is a machine diffuser that we made. So this is a 2-piece. It's all aluminum machined.
That's super cool.
And we machined the tips. It's actually a 3-piece tip that we made. Made the bumper guards, even though they look bumperettes. A lot of guys take them off. Mm-hmm. We made them even though they look factory. They're not.
I think that's an important design element, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think
I
you
like
can
that.
Take a lot off. Anybody accuses us, we usually add too much. But you can see it's got a tire under it.
A lot of the underneath is painted the same color.
Yeah, the whole bottom of the car is.
This is what I mean. The fit and finish, door panels, love it.
It's really the door panel wrapped with a piece of trim we made. Paid homage to the original because they're cool. Like the dash. This is the original dash that we just wrapped because they're so iconic Cuda. That's cool. We took the original gauge cluster, and they're a 2-piece cluster because you can't get them. So we made it 1-piece carbon and just made sheet metal rings and then chromed them to give it a little bit more spice.
AC radio.
Oh, this stereo, because of in the music industry, this thing is crazy good.
Nice. So manual transmission.
Yep,
that wheel
speed.
is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's ones we make. So even the gauge is, instead of having a red line, it's got a pink line in it instead of
That's cool.
Dakota Digital built them for us. But again, it's stock looking.
I love the theme. So then with this, in terms of naming, did you guys have like meeting, all hands?
No.
Everybody put in?
Well,
like, how does that work? Because we were talking about it when we were talking about your Grand National build.
So that one, the owner picked. This one, the owner let us do it. And it started with, I talked the owner and he was purple or pink. And I'm like, God, I'm just not feeling. And Gary Regal did a rendering in this in pink. And I'm like, So I really had to harp him. He didn't know, and finally talked him into pink. We had the car painted pink, and we had actually machined the valve cover inserts, and it was done. And Jim says, we should have called this thing, instead of Redeye, Pink Eye. And so that's where that came from. And then we're like, well, you're infected with something if you got pink eye. So that's where we came up with the name Infected.
Oh my goodness. So do you pride yourselves in like, oh, I came up with that name? Or,
no, we don't,
like
but we take pride in, there's a lot of hidden, even in like colors that we do, and there's always little hidden things that people might or may not pick up, but we're always wanting to make fun. It's got to be fun too, right? I mean, these are, they're drivable, but it's still got to be a fun experience.
It's different because when you refer back to a Ringbrothers build, you name it from the name. You don't talk about it was this year,
69
whatever.
Camaro.
Yeah, you say the name and then they automatically know what it is.
Right.
And it is so different. I mean, that's what makes it special.
Yeah, it came from a friend of ours who said, you guys are young, you're gonna make you might make 4 Mustangs. You gotta start naming this stuff so people can do exactly what you said, Larry, where they can say, oh yeah, instead of saying which Mustang, what 65, oh, was it the red one, the blue one? So they were on us right away, and we've always named our cars.
The best part is it's not something that just is a name and then that's what you named it. It becomes a part of the theme, and there's some deeper meaning to it most of the time.
Yeah,
I'm
most of
assuming.
the time.
And that's what's cool. I love that a lot. I love that. Yeah, this is such an awesome car. Such a great build. I hope the owner is happy with it.
Yeah, he was pretty happy today.
So he saw it for the first time today?
Yeah, today. And he loved the color, and his girlfriend loved the color, because it's like I said, you couldn't paint too many cars this color and get away with it.
If you want to be seen,
yeah,
this is the car. Forget any flashy supercar.
Right, yeah.
This is the one.
And you know what? I would drive this thing. I mean, and I'm not that kind of guy, but because it's okay to have a pink Cuda.
So then, this is all finished too.
Yep.
What is that tunnel for?
Well, we wanted to kind of mimic the tunnel of the car, since it's kind of a lot of wasted space, but we kind of wanted to, because it's got a transaxle and a lot.
Oh yeah, so then about the transaxle, is it because there wasn't enough room to put a normal transmission?
No, we just wanted to do something different. Joe Rogan's car, the Roadster Shop did it to Joe's, and it's pretty cool, get some weight back, and so it was like, shit, we should do that too, so we did.
What is that out of?
Roadster Shop made it's out of a C6 Corvette.
Okay.
Yeah.
God.
So we made it that, so the tunnels are tall in them then, that's why the console is taller, but it leaves you more foot room, but it kind of, obviously the whole back.
So then did you make the tunnel smaller?
Well, it's narrow, but they're taller, but we did this is completely, everything is made for it. There's nothing, tunnel, floor. So we first build the exhaust, then we build the tunnels around the exhaust.
Us car nerds, we appreciate all this stuff, but I hope the owner
they don't
knows
have a clue.
what
They don't have a clue. They just look at the builds and go, "Are you shitting me? It looks the same as it did a month ago."
With this setup, how much power is this making?
This is just bone stock 807. But guys that know these things, you can easily make this Hellcat about 11 to the tire. But I mean, with a manual again, how much power? Everybody wants to talk about numbers. Hell, I could tell you it's got 2,000 horse. You know what I mean? It's
right.
But no, that's an honest.
I wouldn't put it past you.
Yeah. But no, it's just a crate, 807. And I actually have a Charger, a 22 Charger wide body. That motor's just amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm afraid of it. I'm like, I don't know why people want 2,000.
I mean, it's for bragging rights, right?
Yeah.
But it's also the fact that you can put it down the power potentially.
I get it. Everybody's got the ego, but at the end of the day, we built a car for a famous race car driver, Greg Murphy, and he's like, we don't have this power in anything we drive, and you guys are.
That's
you know
the
what
beauty
I mean?
of
It's
it.
like, it's like. So
That's
it's
cool.
crazy.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for walking us through this. Just wild. There's no other way to explain it. Again, talking
Yep.
about hinges.
Yep.
Really finished, like just, it's one of those things that easily overlooked. Could have just taken the stock part, could have just painted it,
Yep.
and it would have been fine, but you guys
Yeah,
just
we
take it
made
to the
them,
extra
yeah.
step. Like, how many man hours
Yeah,
does
I
it
mean,
take to design and
I
build
don't know.
something
You'll have
like
to
this?
ask George when he got his bill.
Yeah, I mean,
But now we sell them. You know what
Good.
I mean? So it's things that we've been lucky enough to develop because of doing cars. Like even like little things like these latches, the doors shut way better, but they're out of a PT Cruiser because they're small. It allowed us to put the solenoid in them, electric locks, and it's a factory setup that's small enough, but yet really good.
I also do like the fact that it seems like all of your builds with this kind of power have cages.
Yeah, it's a
It's
must.
really important.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're certified NHRA cage, but it's definitely a good thing to have when you put this much. Plus,
Yeah.
protection.
The chassis itself, the body itself, back then,
Yeah, they're not.
They probably didn't even think it would last this long.
Right,
You know?
exactly.
But now you've given it a second life
Yeah.
with, what, 4 times the power?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though, like, Recaro, so we use Recaro seats in there, we cut them down, but we made the headrest look similar to a Cuda. But we even machined like the Pentastar, because these are normally just black, plastic. But you know, they didn't have plastic black back then, so we even machined with the Pentastar in them. They're aluminum that are chromed. Just, you know, because that's the way it would have been. It wouldn't
Right.
have been plastic.
Well, you've taken it this far already.
Yeah,
Might
it's
as
like,
well.
you might as
like-
well machine some. Yeah, because I mean, that's the stuff that bugs you. You start putting it together and you're like, plastic crank on the car like this, it just wouldn't work.
So one more question. You've built so many cars for so many years now. When some of these come back for service or some refresh
Sure.
or whatever, do you look at it and
Oh, yeah.
see in terms of like,
See
oh,
where
we
you
did this
were-
right, or the wear
or
is
it's like,
too much?
I think
or-
I don't think you ever think you did it right. I mean, no matter what car we've done, it's like you're just never not satisfied. But what we're trying to really learn is drivability and longevity of the drivability, and learn, oh, this isn't really working. It can't take this many miles, or, you know, that's what we're looking at when we get them back, not necessarily the style, because, you know, the styles change and we change.
I
and
understand that, yeah. But then
The
when
drivability is what.
when
we
it
really-
comes back, and then you think to yourself, like, it held up pretty good.
Yeah, like we have one customer that just, a Mustang we did. I've never seen anybody beat a car like this in my life. And it's like, yeah.
No
well,
mechanical sympathy.
Yeah, it's like, but again, we're lucky enough to have been in this industry long enough to know what not to use. And we've created some amazing relationships with people, transmission, motor, whatever, chassis people, that when we call, we're lucky enough they take it, we explain our problem. Today nobody wants to answer a phone. And me being a non-tech flip phone guy, I get so upset with people. Just talk to them, because you guys will sit there and text. It's like, what's all it led to is another question. It's like, can't we just get on the phone and talk? And I have the privilege to be able to talk, because that's the way I communicate.
Just admit it. You're an analog guy building analog
Yeah,
cars.
exactly.
That's what people come to you for. They come to you for the analog
Exactly.
stuff. Other builders,
Yeah.
they can do the digital
Right,
stuff.
they can do it, exactly.
I
Yeah, this
love
is
it.
what we do.
Thank you so much. Always a pleasure to feature your cars. This thing is outstanding, just amazing. I'd cruise in this thing too.
Yeah,
No problem driving a pink car. Come on, thing is awesome.
thanks.
Thank you.